So yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you taking the time out this afternoon. I'm not going to introduce you. I'll give you that honor. So if you could tell me your name, where you're from, and what it is that you do, we get the ball rolling, get this thing started.
All right, so my name is Armand Stotts, born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Definitely a Pittsburgh City kid,
Okay.
product of Pittsburgh Public Schools for sure. But I'm a district sales manager for Cricket Wireless currently. I've been in the wireless industry for, we'll just say over 15 years, so I don't show my true age there. But I held a lot of titles in regards to that, did a little bit of ownership at one point in time. And now I'm here with Cricket Wireless. I run 21 stores from Pittsburgh all the way up to Erie.
That's a lot, man. We got to take a little dive into that. So I'm sure that people, okay, Cricket, phone company, wireless phone company. You are district manager. You just say you operate 21 stores, which is major, major, major. So what does that look like from like a day to day? Like what it is that you do? What are you responsible for? Like what does that look like? Just give us an idea of what that's like.
Okay, so I run technically three different districts, two in Pittsburgh, and then one they call North Pittsburgh, which consists of Erie and where I'm at now, kind of like Cranberry, Clarion, and that area. But my day to day starts with that's 21 direct managers that I have to lead, manage, give the game plan for on a day to day, month to month, week to week basis. And then throughout that, my day, I wake up and start off with a conference call with my managers, make sure that they know everything that they need to do for the day, or any new updates or anything like that that we need to deliver. Talk about previous day sales performances, who's doing well, who needs some areas of improvement, and give them what they need to do that. And then from there, every day is kind of it's different from me. I drive around, try to hit a few stores every single day. You do little surprise visits, make sure that the stores are looking good from the outside, presentable on the inside. Make sure the employees are, and dress code and all of that good stuff. And then from there, we just making sure the back of the store is full, the inventory, the cash is on point. And that's my day to day. It's going in and out of these stores. I'm on the road all day, driving around in a company car, and just taking care of that stuff.
Dig it, man. That was extremely thorough and comprehensive. So I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that explanation. So let's get right to it. I need your story. I need to understand. Armand leaves high school. Day after he leaves high school to the point where he is today a district manager. Give us the sort of condensed version. What was your path? How did you get to where you are today?
Okay, so all right, so I graduate high school, Taylor Alderdice, and really I was unsure of exactly what I was going to do. Thought that with everybody, it was like, hey, the next step, going to college. But I didn't know if that was necessarily the right path for me. I was looking at the cost of tuition every single year, and I just said, man, I don't know if I could put my parents and myself through that debt of that. And that was something that I was unsure of. So I went to CCAC to try that out for a little bit into business management. Had two great professors there that kind of gave me a lot of insight into what the business world looks like, and I'll say that they were probably too good of teachers because they inspired me to try to get out here on my own and not stick in school. And I started to work. And I remember at that time, early in this time, which you know who he is, but my cousin Howard was trying to go to Howard, your alma mater as well. And he took a job in the middle of Monroeville Mall, where technically coming to high school, that's where we went to go hang out on the weekends and go do things. And he took a job selling phones there. And in the middle of a mall at a kiosk in the towns where a lot of times people didn't, we were selling people their first phones at that time. But I remember my dad told me, he said, man, don't, he hates when I tell this story, but he said, don't go following after your idiot cousin Howie and selling phones in the mall. He said, you got a good job. I was working at Dish Network, going to school, answering customer service phone calls. But my paychecks were enough to pay for my car insurance, pay for my phone bill, and get gas in my car back and forth to work and school. And that was about it. And I wanted a little bit more for myself. And my cousin Howie was selling phones in the mall. He was getting like $50 every time he sold one phone. And if you sold two phones, you got $120.
Wow.
And he was telling me all of the girls that, you know, we had crushes on in that time that he was seeing in the mall every single day. And I'm like, man, I don't got a crush on nobody at Dish Network. This ain't right. I got to, I need to get to this mall, right? So I went and applied, got hired, and I went and started at that job. And, you know, my dad told me, you know, I remember the Dish Network company called and said, hey, he didn't come to work today. So it's like my dad's like, why didn't you go to work? I'm like, Lord, I got a new job. I'm selling phones. And he told me at this time, he said, man, that's cell phones. Ain't nobody gonna have no cell phone in all of these years. Like, you know, what are you gonna do once everybody has a phone? Like, he didn't see the vision. The
Right.
way where he saw it going was, you know, this is going to be like a VCR. Once everybody has a VCR, that's it. Like, you know, it's not going to be anything bigger than that. And you know, he'll tell you now today that he was wrong about that. So from there, working for a company inside of the mall, went from there to T-Mobile Corporate. I was at T-Mobile Corporate for about 6 years. Worked my way up as an entry position of being a guy as a sales rep. Got to a senior sales rep, assistant manager, and manager. And I was working there for a while. Everything was going great. And then I got recruited to go work for Apple. And from there, from T-Mobile, went to Apple. And at that time, Apple retail was starting to get themselves into a predominant place in the retail world where everybody was starting to copy and emulate them. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, everyone was coming in to kind of take their employees as well too. So I had a manager that would tell us like, man, if you guys work here for more than a year at you guys' young age and stuff like that, you're doing yourself a misjustice. He was like, you need to come in here, be open to these opportunities because people will come in and try to recruit us all the time.
Wow.
And what I'll take with my career I equate going to Apple as me almost going to college. It really changed a lot for me. I got a chance to learn a lot, better myself, and it gave me a lot of training and an opportunity to learn the sales process and management a lot. And then there, somebody came in and recruited me. And there was a guy that owns some Verizon cell phone stores in central Pennsylvania. And to make a longer story short, I'll shorten it up. Basically, he gave me an opportunity, gave me an operation management role to operation ownership role where so as an operating manager, I had a small percentage into the company, and we ended up growing the company from 3 to 7. From 3 to 37. And wow. Then from there, we also opened up a cell phone repair store, fixing screens, and that company was called Phone Surgeons. So we ended up opening up 3 of those across the country as well too. And doing those 2 with the Verizon and the Phone Surgeons, that took me from central Pennsylvania to West Virginia, which was a crazy experience, a small town in West Virginia that nobody ever heard of on the border of Kentucky. From there to Indiana, all over Ohio to New York City, where I had a New York City and Connecticut market, which also was life-changing experience for me being and living there. Where I shortened it up and eventually ended up meeting my wife up there, who's from Pittsburgh as well too. But we met in Las Vegas while both living in New York City. And my business partner ended up selling all of the stores in New York and Connecticut. And at that point, it was an opportunity for me to kind of take that cash that I received from the buyout, and it was either move back home to Pittsburgh or like go back and work in central Pennsylvania, which I had no desire to do anymore. So I've been back home in Pittsburgh, just kind of working as a district manager here, kind of raising kids and enjoying life.
Man, that's a lot. I mean, we could have a conversation. Yeah, we could have a conversation about all those things because that was, you know, you definitely, you know, but I mean, you could see the build up though. You could see, like you said, you know, how you got started and just, you know, the steps, boom, 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 and how it all sort of, you know, converged into this sort of opportunity where you are, you know, today. So that was great. Appreciate that, man. So I'm not going to ask you how much money you make. So what I'll do is, if someone is looking at telecommunications, wireless sales, district manager, you got, Crooked, you got, AT&T, et cetera, et cetera. If they're looking at this sort of industry and this sort of role, what sort of salary should they expect for this type of role in this type of
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that kind of sparked me to be there. We're talking to previous district managers and finding out how much they make. And it's a nice range that it can go depending on what type of company or where you're at. It fluctuates, but you can expect six figures for sure as a district manager in the wireless industry. It can go upwards to 130 and 150 and more. It's just kind of landing and getting into that right situation that'll get you there. But some situations are even more than that. So yeah, you can definitely expect a six figure range, typically with good benefits, and I drive a company car and different things that'll add into it to make that value of that go up and more. But even for managers are paid pretty well as well too. Those can get into close to six figures, a little bit under that, $70,000-$80,000 a year, which to me, especially in the Pittsburgh area, can get you a nice life.
Wow, that's great, man. I think that's probably on average the highest sort of range that I've experienced this doing these interviews. And I've done a lot so far, so thank you for that, man. That's really, hopefully, the folks listening, that's really eye opening. But at the same time too, that's not something that you're just jumping off the porch and being able to achieve either. It's definitely levels and definitely a lot of steps to get there, as you just explained. So that's definitely helpful. Thanks for that. So I got you know somewhat, getting back to you, like, who you are, what you're doing. We start here. We're right here. What's the next step? What's on the horizon? What's the goals? Like, where are you trying to take this?
Okay, so next step for me is the company that I work for right now, and the division that I'm in. There's a lot of growth for me coming up next. So I see myself moving into the director role here pretty close, pretty soon. That's in the next level for me. I'll say next year. I do want to move my family out of the Pittsburgh area again, so I'm looking into the Florida area. That's something that's up next. I like Tampa a lot, but this last recent hurricane made me, say, all right, hold up,
Reevaluate.
yeah, but a lot of people were saying like, well, I said, my mind works crazy. So, well, now I know, right, where the hurricanes are, what places are going to be affected the worst. The housing market is going to change a little bit in our favor for going down there. So, and I also don't want to be in a position where I'll never wait until the last minute. When they say, hey, this storm is bad, you need to evacuate. I'm going to be in a position like, right. I'm already on the road. Like, I left 3 days ago. So that's kind of where we want to go. It's a nice place to kind of raise a family, I guess. But I saw something that said, I read an article a few years ago that in Pittsburgh we average 41 days of pure sunshine a year. So
that's crazy, man. Crazy.
It's like when we go on vacation and how we feel on those 41 days. I need out of 365. I need a little bit more than that. So that's where I'm looking to go there. Hopefully, with cricket in this opportunity, it can take me there. But contrary to what my dad thought many years ago, the good thing about this industry is there's always going to be an opportunity available because people will never have enough phones. I say it all the time. The only thing that's saturated in the world more than a cell phone is water. So we'll always be busy, and there'll always be opportunities anywhere.
Got it, man. That's cool, man, and definitely good luck on that. I'm sure you'll land that director role, no question. Got somewhat of a curveball for you.
Okay.
Black man.
Yep.
Wireless, telecommunications. Do you feel like that has any sort of bearing on, your role, the industry, compensation, anything like that? Has that impacted you at all in your perspective and opinion?
For sure. Being a black man in America, there's nowhere where you can go where that's not going to affect, anywhere that you walk into, whether it's the grocery store, Home Depot, your work, your church, your relationship. That's prominent everywhere. But one thing that I always make sure is that is representative of me. I want to be a representative of that everywhere that I go, because I know that we're going to be an anomaly. There's not going to be as many faces like me in that room. So that makes me, I have to work a little bit harder. I got to be a little bit sharper. I got to be faster. I got to be quicker than my counterparts and my coworkers. But I don't look at that as a negative thing. For me, that's a badge of honor to wear. That I'm a kill every stereotype, every misconception that you might have, and I'm gonna show up extremely well for that. So I guess to answer that question, I acknowledge that is there, and I hold on to that. I wear that with pride, and it affects how I work for sure, but it's in a positive realm. It's almost a competitive nature of knowing that that's behind me, and I got to wear that on my back, but it's not going to slow me down. It's not going to hold me up. And I don't shy away from it. I don't try to hide it. It's here. But we're the coolest people on the planet. So for me, it makes it easier for me to do my job, to lead people and lead from that aspect of yeah, I'm just doing it in a cooler way than anybody else to get the job done. So I'm gonna get the job done, and I'm gonna get it done as me, unapologetically.
There it is, man. I love it. Love the response, man. Love you being able to share that, perspective and just your experiences. But yeah, bro. I mean, that's it, man. That's all I got. I don't know if there's anything that I might have left out or anything that you want to add. Any closing remarks?
My only closing remarks to anybody listening to this that can hear it is obviously stay positive. You never know what opportunities are going to that you'll run into, or the people that you might be talking to with their or the people that you run into in your life. They're always looking. Everybody is an opportunity. Don't burn any bridges, because you never know where someone who you're meeting today, where they're going to end up tomorrow, and how that can impact you. So, I'm someone that tried to go to school, but I always had a strong work ethic. I tried entrepreneurship as well. That's something that is always a passion of mine, but it's not the end all be all. Sometimes like a lot of people I tell, they have that passion to do that, and that's great. And I want to see everybody do that. But there's a lot of businesses. Not all businesses make $10 to $20 million every year or every quarter. There's a lot of people that go out here and they work hard and doing their business, and they're very, very successful, and they make six figures a year or under six figures a year. And for a lot of people, there's a big push for being entrepreneurs, but you can work out here as well too, and have that same satisfaction and make that same outcome, and have a great life as well too, and take care of yourself and your family, and put yourself in a great position, without the overhead yourself. But I'm not shying you away from that in any way, shape, or form. There's just another side of that coin as well too that can be beneficial.
Love it, man. Love it. That's wonderful advice, and hopefully that is able to resonate with some folks, man. And not gonna hold you, man. I definitely appreciate the time. I'm sure next time we talk in this sort of format, next interviews, I'm gonna be interviewing the director. So good luck on that. But I'm sure you're gonna land. Safe travels this week. When you go on vacation, man. And yeah, we'll talk soon, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, my man. Appreciate you as well, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We see the impact you're making for sure.
Thanks so much, man. Take care.
All right, later.